Hey everyone, I'm your host Ryan Manarino, and I'm going to welcome you to the Business Breakdown Podcast. This is a show where I talk to individuals who have a strong understanding about the issues that are in business today. This week's guest is Kenneth Schultz. Mr. Schultz was my former personal finance, marketing, and principles of business teacher back in high school and has a great understanding of economics. He has also worked for companies such as Wells Fargo, Bank of America, and American Express Financial Advisors. Today we're going to be discussing the ongoing issue of minimum wage and whether it should be raised or stay where it is now. Enjoy this episode with my former teacher and financial professional, Kenneth Schultz. I just want to say thank you so much for being here, Mr. Schultz. The first question I wanted to ask you was, do you think the current minimum wage of $7.25 per hour is too high, too low, or just right? I'm first going to give my side of how I feel about this, and after I'd like to hear what you think.
Okay.
And in my opinion, especially for a person who's trying to pay for college, I don't think it's enough.
Right.
Especially for me next year, housing, I'd be living on campus, but it's really expensive. Even if I'm working over 40 hours a week or close to that, it's still going to be a struggle if I work all summer, and especially when I come back working even more, it's going to be really hard to pay that amount. And
it's interesting because minimum wage, I think, is too low right now. I don't even think it's kept up with inflation.
Yeah.
I think if you start doing some research and you do some numbers, I don't think it's kept up with inflation. And it's interesting because my brother and my cousin and I were talking over the weekend about minimum wage and about how it seems like we're almost like depleting the middle class. My cousin was telling me this. I think he said to live in Baltimore. So my brother lives in the Baltimore area.
Yeah.
To live in Baltimore and just to be able to live, to get a roof over your head, you have to be making $19 an hour.
Wow.
Because there's a statistic in housing. It's like you don't want to spend like more than 30% of your disposable income. I think the minimum wage is too low. I think, yes, we should definitely raise the minimum wage. But I think we have to look at other societal issues besides just
the minimum wage itself. With that being said, talking about the price and how it might be too low, where do you think would be a good number to start at? I know it's really hard to put a number where minimum wage should be now, but you have an idea? I kind of had the number around above 10, maybe $12 an hour. I think 15 is a little steep, especially in New York. I understand that it's a little more expensive to live there, but to have a national minimum wage, I think above $10 is a good start. Do you have any comments on that?
Yeah, I would say I would probably keep it at 10, like, because you're going up, and if you're going from $7.25 to $10, it's about, what, a 30% increase, which is pretty good.
Yeah.
And we as people, I mean, $10, like, kind of, it's a number that would stick in our head. You know, it sounds good because $10 is, if you're working 40 hours, that's
It's an easy number, yeah.
A week, it's an easy number. It's something that we can relate to.
I'm glad that I see states such as like New York and San Francisco that are raising it. They're trying it out in different cities, first off, just to see if, because it's more expensive to live there, see if that's helping out. And I'm glad I'm seeing states like New York actually raising it to $15 because it's just so expensive nowadays to live, and minimum wage is just not keeping up with it. It's been kind of stuck here for a while. Economic research analyst named Michael Thompson, he wanted to statistically compare what was happening in Indiana and Illinois. And what happened was in Illinois, they raised the minimum wage by $2, and Indiana stayed at the base minimum wage. And they concluded from the analysis that there was like no change at all. There was no impact unemployment-wise. It was all beneficial. There was no issues whatsoever for raising the wage. So do you think by raising this we'll see any long-term issues unemployment-wise? Maybe businesses will lose money. I don't see anything from the research that I gathered that there is any long-term issues. I think by raising the wage, it's only going to benefit the employers and the businesses.
Well, here's the thing with like payroll.
Yeah.
Okay, so compensation. So the largest dollars of any company go to your employees.
Mm-hmm.
In any company, right? So really, when we're talking about minimum wage, we're really talking about mostly the food service industry, right, or the retail industry.
Food service, retail, lifeguard, anything down that line.
Right, because if you're going to, like you, when you get out of college, you're not going to take a job for minimum wage, right?
Yeah.
Neither are your fellow graduates. So the minimum wage is really for the lower level employee.
Another thing I wanted to touch on too is it's actually by another research analysis. Patrick Johnson, he figured out that nearly a third of all the workers who started at minimum wage 3 years later are still on that rate. Do you think hearing something like that is concerning for people that might be going into a job knowing that they're going to be making minimum wage from the start? Do you think people might be pushed away from a job like that, or because that's hard to hear?
Yeah, it's very concerning. I mean, you don't get a raise in 3 years. I mean, when I was at Wells Fargo, I mean, they did put a freeze on us, but like I said, we were not making minimum wage.
You're well beyond, well beyond that.
And like I said, you have to think of, so there's in the business world, when you get out there and start making money, there's what's called a COLA, COLA, which is cost of living adjustment.
Mm-hmm.
And we know that inflation, has been about 3% for like a really long time.
Yeah.
So if you're making $7.25 an hour, and you're not even keeping up with inflation, let me ask them, when was the last time the minimum wage was increased?
The year was 2009.
Yeah, so it's definitely concerning. I mean, if you're not, to me, if you're not giving your employees any raises in 3 years, you're not valuing your employees.
Last thing I want to ask, do you have any final comments for me?
So no, I think it's good that you're doing stuff like this, in class. I mean, that gives me, because you guys are the future. You get to direct it. You got to, and it seems like a lot of your kids your age, they actually care about what's coming.
And that's going to conclude this week's edition of the Business Breakdown Podcast. Thanks for tuning in, and be sure to come back next time as we'll be talking about the current unemployment rates. See you next week.